I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really out here in these streets. That's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no. But now I want it all. I promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another bonus episode of the Montana Method podcast. Once again, live and direct from the new project being built as we speak. As you see, very rare bones right now. I'm very excited for what's to come, what we're doing here. We are building a brand new studio from scratch, from the ground up. New everything, new look, new style, new partners, new team, and we are very excited for what's going to come from this. Big time media company to come, big announcements, big partnerships, a lot of very good things. It's interesting to see something happen right before your eyes because what you were hoping for and praying for that would happen starts happening. It's almost, it happens in a totally different way than what you expect how it would happen, and it's really cool. Sometimes blessings in life come from the most unexpected places, and that's something really cool. Always, I learned something a while back from a mentor of mine. He said, "No name, no attachment." No name, no attachment. What did he mean by that? He was referring to humans and how we stay attached to these things in life, and how that attachment to control and all this stuff that's a fallacy, that's an illusion, because you can't control anything, is the source of suffering for a lot of people, because they have this attachment to, no, it has to happen this way, or, oh, no, it's supposed to look like that. They're attached to people, places, or things, and it causes a lot of suffering. However, when you're detached, when there's no attachment, and you let things be and things flow, life is very peaceful, and things happen anyway. Things that you want to happen in your life, and goals you have, dreams, things like that, they happen. Why? Because instead of being so attached because you want it to happen this way, or no, I want this person to be like this. No, I can't live without that person. I can't live without going to this place. When you're detached, life is just enjoyable, because the attitude goes from I can't live without this to I'm living. It's a very different, very spiritual topic. Shout out to Eddie if you're listening to this. Appreciate you, brother. So, on today's episode, I'm going to talk about something interesting that happened to me last night and the subsequents that followed this morning. The subsequent events that followed this morning. So last night, I go to this event that I was invited to. A friend of mine that I had on the Spanish version of the podcast, I invited him. He was a guest. This guy named Enrique. He's a former governor in Venezuela. Now he's doing a transition into building his personal brand, becoming a speaker, author, trying to inspire people with his message, that kind of stuff. So he invites me to his book launch here, not far from my house in Coral Gables. I go over to check him out, go to his event, show him some support, buy his book, connect with some people, shake some hands, network. Very important. You always got to be out there networking. If you live in Miami, you know that yesterday, what was yesterday's date? Today is the 16th. So yesterday, November 15th, was probably one of the rainiest days you have ever seen in recent history in Miami. It literally rained from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep. It was still raining. Pouring rain. It was terrible. So I had promised these, people that I was going to this event, so I wasn't going to let the rain get in my way of getting to this event. So I went. And I go, and everything's great, and I shake hands. Like I said, I meet people. I do these things. And so I leave. Everything was great. I start heading home. The rain was really heavy. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about when I say that the rain was so heavy that you couldn't really see. It was raining so hard and so constant that you could barely see the road in front of you. That's how hard it was raining. So I'm at this stop sign, and I need to make a left to go onto this street. And I make the left. And then all of a sudden, I feel my car just jump in the air. Fwah! I can remember this in slow motion. I lost control of my car for a second. I had no clue what was going on. There was no cars on the street, so I knew it wasn't a car accident. So that way, that's why I was just so disoriented. I didn't know what was going on. As my car is coming down, I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. Boom, my car comes down back onto the road. As soon as my car lands, I know something's wrong. All these sensors in my car go off. So I stop for a second. I pull over. Both of my tires on the right-hand side of my car are completely flat. No air. My car's marking 0 tire pressure. I look back, and there was a curb in the middle of the road that I did not see. It's really strange positioning to put a curb. I'm not going to... Anyway. So I have to get a tow now. I can't drive my car. So I'm able to drive it maybe a block to a safe space to park it right next to a church over here on Coral Way and Segovia. So I park right on the outside of the church in a parking spot. And I just started trying to call around the tow companies. Of course, because it was towing, because it was pouring rain, and the weather was terrible, and it got freezing cold last night. No one was picking up the phone. All these tow truck companies chose not to work that night because of the weather conditions. I finally get a hold of a tow truck company, pay them. The tow was $125 to get me to my house. Luckily, I was only about 2 miles away from my house. 2 hours later, I had to wait 2 hours for the tow truck to get there. Tow truck finally gets there. It's the wrong kind of tow truck. I needed a flatbed because on a flatbed, you can put the car flat and tow it. So what happens is when you have a tow truck that just tows the front or the back of the car, the wheels obviously have to be on the road. I can't do that because I have 2 flat tires on one side of the car. So what happens? Luckily, I was going back and forth with the tow truck driver, with the tow truck company. Luckily, what happened is the lady that sent over the tow, she talked to the guy, and the guy didn't end up charging me any money, and he put this thing called a dolly, where it goes under 2 wheels and it has wheels. So basically, in those situations, the car doesn't have to touch the road. So the guy tows me all the way to my house, and I take off my clothes. I'm all wet, and all the clothes are dirty. So what do? Just go to sleep. And I kid you not when I say that was probably the best night's sleep I ever got. I was so relieved just to be home that it was astonishing. It really was. This morning, without a car, because my car is still not working, I still came to work. I still got my workout in. I'm still here with my team, working on what we got to work on. What's the point of me telling you this story? My point is, everybody is going through something in life. If something's happening to you, that does not make you special. What makes you think you are different from everybody else? Everybody else is facing very similar challenges to you, if not worse. If you're dealing with something, there's people out there dealing with way worse than whatever you're dealing with. I'm dealing with a no-car situation. My car got, my tires are shot. I got to buy new tires and figure out all that situation. There's people out there in the world dealing with deaths in the family and with serious illness, cancer, terminal cancer. There's people out here dealing with their child dying. There's people in the world dealing with divorce. There's people in the world dealing with bankruptcy. There's people in the world battling there's people in the world that I can relate to who are dealing with an indictment, who are about to go to prison. There's people dealing with such serious issues in life that are way worse than whatever you're dealing with right now. What makes you so special is my question. So, I understood that this morning. In spite of my challenges, I made commitments to people. I gave my word to people. I promised them I would be somewhere at a certain time, and I made commitments to them. Moral of the story. In spite of what happens to you in your life, you need to show up to your commitments and keep your word. The difference between extraordinary people and ordinary people: ordinary people bend to their circumstances. Extraordinary people do things in spite of their circumstances. Your circumstances are not an excuse to not get things done. I'm reminded of Michael Jordan when he played that game with the flu. Everybody else would have just benched. He played anyway. I'm reminded of so many different people who were in crazy situations, and in spite of their situations, they went out and performed and got things done. And that's what I did today. And I'm proud of myself that in spite of everything that happened yesterday, I'm here. I'm here with my team. We're working. The studio's in the process of still getting built, and things are making it, we're making things happen. So just wanted a quick message for you guys. Don't let your circumstances in life determine what you're going to do or what actions you're going to take. Make your commitments priority number one. Commit, and the commitment happens no matter what happens to you or around you. Period. That's real integrity. And that's real commitment and dedication. The difference between people who commit and people who don't commit, committed people and non-committed people, is if you're committed, you're doing something long after the mood you said you would do it in has left you. I'm going to repeat that. A committed person is a person who does something long after the mood they said the thing has left them. Meaning, if you were excited when you said, I'm going to do this, and you're no longer excited and you're still doing it, that's commitment. If you were happy when you said this, and, I'm going to do this, and then you're not happy and you're still doing it, that's being committed. That's what it's going to take. Serious commitment. How committed are you? If you're not committed, it's a hobby. Get committed and watch your life change. Thank you, guys. If you like this, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this episode. Comment in the episode what else, what other kind of content, what you want me to talk about, that kind of stuff. Appreciate you guys. As always, with the same message, push it to the limit. The world is yours. If you're not chasing a dream, life is meaningless. See you on the next episode.
I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really out here in these streets. That's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no. But now I want it all. I promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags.